In the vast and colorful tapestry of Hindu mythology, stories of divine intervention often serve as profound lessons for humanity. They illustrate virtues like humility, devotion, and selflessness, while also cautioning against vices such as arrogance and greed. This tale of Kubera, the god of wealth, is no exception. It reminds us that wealth and splendor, no matter how great, are insignificant in the eyes of the divine if not accompanied by humility and pure intent. Join us as we journey through this remarkable story, unraveling the layers of wisdom embedded within. Kubera, the treasurer of the gods, ruled over the opulent city of Alakapuri. His palace was a spectacle of grandeur, with walls encrusted with precious jewels, rivers of molten gold running through the courtyards, and gardens that bore fruits of sparkling gemstones. His court was graced by celestial beings such as Yakshas, Kinnaras, and Gandharvas, who marveled at his immense wealth. Kubera's pride in his affluence knew no bounds. One day, as Kubera sat on his golden throne, a thought crossed his mind. The world must know the true extent of my wealth and influence, he mused. What better way to demonstrate it than by hosting a feast for all the gods? But merely hosting a feast wasn't enough. Kubera decided that this feast would surpass any gathering ever witnessed in the heavens. To ensure the success of his grand event, Kubera decided to personally invite Lord Shiva, the destroyer of worlds and the divine benefactor, who had granted him his inexhaustible wealth. Surely, Kubera thought, if Lord Shiva himself attends my feast, it will cement my status as the grandest host in the universe. With a retinue of attendants, Kubera ascended Mount Kailasa. Upon reaching Shiva's humble abode, he was taken aback by its simplicity. How can the great Lord Shiva reside in such a modest place? My palace far exceeds this in magnificence, he thought arrogantly. Entering the abode, Kubera bowed low before Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati. O Mahadeva, O Mother Parvati, he began, his voice dripping with false humility. I have come to invite you both to a grand feast I am hosting in honor of all the gods. It would be my greatest honor to have you grace the occasion. Shiva, ever aware of Kubera's inner thoughts, smiled knowingly. Kubera, he said, his voice calm yet firm, Parvati and I will not attend your feast. However, our son Ganesha will come in our stead. Kubera was taken aback, but dared not question Lord Shiva's decision. As you wish, my lord, he said, masking his disappointment. Inwardly, he consoled himself, thinking, at least Ganesha's presence will still bring prestige to my event. Preparations for the feast were nothing short of extraordinary. A massive hall, adorned with shimmering drapes of gold and silver, was constructed to accommodate the hundreds of divine guests. Chefs from all corners of the universe were summoned to prepare the most exquisite dishes imaginable. When the day arrived, the gods and celestial beings gathered, marveling at the splendor Kubera had arranged. Finally, Ganesha arrived, his potbelly and mischievous smile signaling his love for food. Kubera greeted him warmly, though inwardly he thought, this little boy will barely make a dent in the feast. Ganesha took the seat of honor, and the feast began. As the first dishes were placed before him, Ganesha devoured them in an instant. Plates of food vanished one after another. Kubera, initially amused, ordered more dishes to be brought out. But no matter how much food was served, Ganesha's hunger seemed insatiable. Bring more food, Kubera shouted, panic creeping into his voice. The cooks worked tirelessly, but Ganesha consumed everything. The feast laid out for hundreds of guests, the reserves in the kitchens, and even the stored provisions of the palace. The other guests looked on in astonishment as Kubera's grand feast descended into chaos. Ganesha, now visibly irritated, said, "Kubera, I am still hungry. Is this the grand feast you boasted of?" Kubera's face turned pale. His pride, so carefully built up, crumbled before his eyes. Desperate and humiliated, he fell at Ganesha's feet. "Forgive me, O Lord. I do not know how to satisfy your hunger. Please show me a way." Ganesha, seeing Kubera's distress, smiled mischievously. "You should seek my parents' guidance," he said simply before leaving the hall. Kubera, now thoroughly humbled, rushed back to Mount Kailasa. Falling at the feet of Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati, he confessed, "My arrogance blinded me, O Lord. I thought I could impress the gods with my wealth, but Ganesha's hunger has taught me otherwise. I beg for your forgiveness. Please tell me how I can appease him." Parvati, her eyes filled with maternal kindness, smiled gently. She handed Kubera a handful of uncooked rice grains. "Take these," she said, "and offer them to Ganesha with true humility and devotion." Kubera was puzzled. "But mother, how can a few grains of rice satisfy his hunger?" Parvati's smile deepened. "It is not the quantity of the offering, but the intention behind it that matters. Ganesha's hunger is a reflection of your greed and pride. Only true humility can satisfy it." Armed with the grains of rice, Kubera returned to Ganesha, who was sitting calmly in his divine abode. Kubera knelt before him and offered the rice with genuine reverence and repentance. Ganesha accepted the offering with a smile and ate the rice. To Kubera's amazement, Ganesha's hunger was finally appeased. "Remember this, Kubera," Ganesha said, his voice kind but firm. "Wealth is not evil, but pride and arrogance are. Use your riches to serve others with humility and love, and you will find true satisfaction." The story of Kubera's feast serves as a timeless reminder of the values upheld in Hindu philosophy. True devotion and humility are far more valuable than material wealth. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, "He who offers to me a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or even water with love and devotion, I accept it." The essence of any offering lies not in its grandeur, but in the sincerity of the heart behind it.